Hello Monster Jam fans, and welcome back to another Monster Jam Monthly video. Today we're going to take a look at the brand new character car SpongeBob SquarePants trucks by Hot Wheels Monster Trucks for 2020. Well, welcome back everyone. Today is yet another Hot Wheels Monster Trucks review video, and I want to thank Tyler Ramirez, Savage One Customs, for helping me get these trucks because my stores have not received them yet. These are the new Target exclusive SpongeBob trucks by Hot Wheels Monster Trucks, very similar to the WWE line that they did for Walmart. I'm not sure exactly if they are Target exclusive or not, but Walmart has not received these yet, so I'm assuming they might be. But you can see here they have a long card. Unlike the original card, which is way shorter than this, a specialized insert here as well for SpongeBob. And then we have a bunch of them, which include number 1 of 5 SpongeBob, number 2 of 5's Patrick, 4 is Mr. Krabs, I went backwards, sorry, Squidward is number 3, and then we have a Plankton, which I want to save for the end, which is number 5. So we're going to unbox these. I'm going to start with number 1, which is the SpongeBob, which is the main character of the show, obviously, SpongeBob SquarePants. And this is very different than the original Hot Wheels character car, which we received last year. And actually in the beginning of this year as well, I believe Case A had this truck, which is the SpongeBob character car conversion into 1/64 scale. So you can see the difference is very, very noticeable. This is kind of a bread van style truck, and then we have an SUV casting. And on the back of the box, we have all the other trucks. You can see the character outlines of each one, the trucks themselves, and then it says collect them all. It has SpongeBob with the truck, and then it says the truck right there. There's the stats for it. And yeah, so the card art's pretty cool. It's not really outstanding, but it's interesting to see. And then we have the rendering on the old SUV casting used for Hot Wheels Monster Jam. And here we go. We're just going to kind of get right into this and box these. So SpongeBob right now. And that's pretty easy. So here's the insert that it comes with. I'm sure they're probably all going to be the same, but there's the kind of weird warped look right there with the flowers in the sky and the bubbles. And then we have the SpongeBob truck itself. So SpongeBob is one of the shows I used to watch as a kid, so this is very familiar to me. I know pretty much everything about this truck and the characters. So the Monster Trucks logo here, that's an obvious thing. They also have a Hot Wheels logo, which I don't understand why they don't just combine the two like the real life circuit. And then also I noticed something like the WWE series, they also have the SpongeBob SquarePants logo, which is a new thing for this series. And then they have this character kind of illustration that's really zoomed in on each truck. I don't really like how they did this. I think that they could have done a better job with the graphics. It's kind of a weird looking style, but here's the SpongeBob graphic, and then we have some yellow kind of dandelion colored lines going through there. We have the bubbles on the roof in stripe form. Pretty awesome. Kind of reminds me of the cards in the actual show when they kind of switch from timelines. So like 2 days later, they have these kind of dialogue cards on screen. And then the back here says 2020 Viacom International Incorporated, which is the company that owns SpongeBob. And then the other side is the same exact style as the other one. I was hoping that they were going to be split paint jobs with maybe a smiling character on the other side, but they did not do that. It also has a light blue roll cage, black rims, and yellow bead locks. Not bad matching of the colors, I like that. And then it has a yellow windshield here, which is pretty cool. So overall, interesting truck. It is a higher price point. I believe they're $5. So for them to do this price point and not do grill printing is very interesting in itself because you're paying for a higher price item. I would expect the detail to be of the utmost importance, especially things like the grill printing. But for some reason, with these trucks, they never decide to do grill printing unless it's very, very necessary or absolutely necessary for them to do it. So for a higher price point item, you're still getting the same quality truck as you would with a normal priced item from the Hot Wheels Monster Truck series. So there is the SpongeBob number 1 of 5. And then we have SpongeBob's best friend, which is Patrick. As my friend Jarvis Ed in his videos explained it, kind of a dim-witted character in the show. He's portrayed as not, the smartest person, but sometimes he is actually smart, which is pretty awesome too. And then here's Patrick's actual character, and here's the back, so you can read the packaging stats here. And Patrick also has a character car, but they did not do that for this series, which I was actually expecting them to do when I heard that they were making a SpongeBob series, but they decided to put him on the Dairy Delivery casting. So here we go, number 2 of 5, Patrick. And here it is, the Patrick Monster Truck. Same insert, like I said before, with the kind of like the WWE series had the ring, kind of just a little stand here for your trucks. And then you have the dairy delivery casting, which is actually one of my favorite Hot Wheels castings, but it has been a little overused now by Hot Wheels for this series, but they did use it with the Patrick. You can see his face here, kind of angry looking, very zoomed in, dark red for these detailing on the side. And then we have the Monster Truck logo, the SpongeBob logo, and the Hot Wheels logo in a pink and white format, like Patrick. The tailgate area or the back doors have, you can see the green windshield and window insert. Then we have the stripes with Patrick's, I think those are his shorts style flowers here. I don't think that's his actual shorts color though. And then you can see Viacom again on the back. Same thing on this side. And then no grill printing again, no hood printing. And then the top here is just basically stripes for the roof. And the color of the roll cage rims and the beadlock is actually the color of his shorts, which are bright green with purple detailing and this shiny chrome green beadlock. So that's Patrick. One of my favorite ones of the series. It's actually a little cooler than the other ones. And then we have Squidward, which if you guys, again, don't know about SpongeBob, this is his co-worker, SpongeBob's co-worker. He works at the Krusty Krab. He's usually a little bit on the angry side, very short-tempered, and you can see this kind of portrayed in the artwork, and you can see kind of him being a little on the, you know, kind of annoyed side here on the card. And then the back here, I'm not sure why he's running from something, but there he is. And then we have the stats, which you guys can read there. And again, number 3 of 5, we're going to box this right now, the Squidward. And Squidward, I believe, also has a character car. I think, actually, I think all of these do have a character car. So they chose the C10 tooling, which is commonly known as the Titan tooling. When they had Monster Jam as a contractor, they made the Titan body on this casting, and now they're using it for their own purposes. So you can see the angry side of the Squidward illustration there, and you have a dark blue panel, a silver stripe going along the side. It's kind of hard to see it. Let me zoom in here, but you do have pretty hard to see detail because it's a little bit of grainy detail. But we have a black and blue Hot Wheels logo, SpongeBob SquarePants, Monster Trucks wrapping around the blue stripe and the silver, and then they don't meet up. Actually, that's kind of unfortunate. They don't meet the stripes correctly. But here's the other side of Squidward, and then the roof here are musical notes because he plays a clarinet as his instrument in the show. Is kind of his off-time hobby. And then no grill printing for the Squidward, but I do want to point out the fact that it has a metallic blue teal color, which is actually matching to Squidward's skin tone, which is a good match. Everything as far as graphic goes are a little bit on the limited side. I think they could have done a lot more with Squidward. And then again, I don't know why the roll cage is yellow. I don't think that was a good choice. They could have done something else, maybe brown, because he wears, if I recall correctly, a brown shirt. So brown would have worked there. And I like the choice of the purple rims, but I would have preferred them to put a blue beadlock around them because I think that's part of his tentacle color. So there is the Squidward Monster Truck for the series that they did, and that's number 3 of 5. And here is the Mr. Krabs Monster Truck, which is the owner of the Krusty Krab, basically SpongeBob and Squidward's boss. He's a very popular character. He always loves money. He's basically just a money-hungry person who owns a business which is kind of a cheaply run business so that he has as much money as possible. Here he is. He's usually shouting orders, so that's kind of very reminiscent of his character in the show. And then the back of the box has his stats right there. You can see the motivation is money, 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 so that makes sense right there. And then same exact illustration as the front for his actual character. And number 4 of 5, Mr. Krabs. So here it is, the Mr. Krabs Monster Truck, which is on the Roger Dodger tooling. I want to say that first off, the color of the roll cage is pretty cool because it does match his pants color, I believe, and his shirt maybe. And then I think his belt is very commonly kind of pronounced on his clothing, so this yellow matches that. But besides that, the colors are not that bad. All of them have chrome chassis, and also this is something I didn't point out before, but they also have the new chassis, which is the Hot Wheels drive line, as I call it. They basically just recasted the bottom and put a Hot Wheels logo there. I'm not sure why they decided to do that and not change a bunch of different things about the chassis, but this is a new chassis mold. And then we have Mr. Krabs, his face on this side. You have the Monster Trucks logo, the Hot Wheels logo, a shiny dark red metallic paint job. I like that. And then the front has the SpongeBob SquarePants, and you can see a very light red pinstriping detail across the entire side panel. The roof is actually stripes of money. I like this detail. It's exactly how the money looks like in the show as well. Viacom is hidden inside of that money detail. And then we have the big motor of the Roger Dodger in the front. No tail lights, nothing on the back, no front headlights or anything on the grill either. And here's this side with the Mr. Krabs, and you can see it has a light green, money kind of green windshield there in the Raj Dodger casting. So that's Mr. Krabs, number 4 of 5. And now we're on to my favorite truck, which is the Plankton monster truck. Number 5 of 5, Plankton. And the reason I like Plankton so much is because of the casting they chose. And you can see the back of the box here has his stats. And Plankton is kind of the rival to Mr. Krabs. He's the restaurant across the street from the Krusty Krab. It's never very popular. It's called the Chum Bucket. And he's usually trying to steal Mr. Krabs' Krabby Patty secret formula, which is kind of his role in the show. He would be considered kind of the anti-hero, not the villain per se, but the anti-hero. He's definitely an interesting character. He's very small as well. But they chose to put his character on the Bigfoot casting. So here's number 5 of 5, the Plankton. So here is Plankton, number 5 of 5. Again, like I said, on the Bigfoot casting. And that's the reason why I like this truck so much. It actually takes a different stance on the Bigfoot tooling. Now, we have seen the Bigfoot tooling with the original Bigfoot style, which they did in 2019. And then we also got another one in 2019, which is very, very rare. The Bigfoot number 8, the Stripe Bigfoot with the classic Mattel logo. This one was released in super limited quantity as far as we know. Only seen in Best Buy stores and very, very rarely seen on eBay. So this is the other case of them using this tooling. And now they have this Plankton truck on the Bigfoot tooling. I'm very intrigued to see what they would do with this truck style in the future, this casting. So we'll see what they do, but here's the Plankton. You can see it has kind of a teal blue paint job, which is a great match to the character himself. They've done an amazing job matching all the colors to the characters for the paint scheme. I do like the Plankton they chose for this side. It's kind of what you always see him doing in the show. He's usually yelling at people. His antenna here extends out, and then you can barely see his other one kind of right here on this little piece of the casting. And then we have a blue stripe going along the front into a kind of a sharp shape. And then we have SpongeBob, we have monster trucks, and we have Hot Wheels in his eye color, the yellow and red. And when I originally saw this truck, I thought this was an orange roll cage, but it's actually a bright red roll cage that matches his eyeball color pretty well. And then we have, we have the gold beadlocks. I'm not sure why they chose gold, but gold beadlocks with red rims. I would have preferred a yellow beadlock because it would have matched his eye tone color better, but they chose gold. Very interesting. And then on the tailgate, I'm not sure what this is. I think it's just seaweed, I guess. But you can see this seaweed here. We have a blue stripe, Viacom International. Same thing on this side for the artwork. And then we actually have another character on this truck, which I really, really like, which is his wife, Karen. So his wife, Karen, in the show is actually a robotic computer, kind of an artificial intelligence computer. She communicates through this green line that goes across her computer screen. It basically wiggles when she talks. So whenever she's speaking to Plankton, you'll see this line wiggling. So they're actually showing you that through this illustration on the roof of this black stripe, which is her computer screen, and then her line of speech moving up and down. So this basically is Plankton and Karen combined into one vehicle. Very awesome detail. Again, this is my favorite one because of that. They did a lot of great things with this specific truck compared to the others. And then we have the Bigfoot casting with the front grille, these carburetors, and then the yellow windshield right there. So that's Plankton, and that is the entire SpongeBob Hot Wheels Monster Truck series, a brand new series. But I want to hear your guys' opinions on these trucks, so comment below. Let me know what you guys think about these trucks, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Ryan of Monster Jam OCD, signing out.